There she is. What, is your name tag correct? Yeah, I did too. You can. Close up. I have some notes actually. All right.
Testing. Testing.
It's still technically 6 o'clock.
6:01.
Well, mine lasted at 6 o'clock when he walked in the door.
Oh, when you walked in.
All right. Good. Hi there, Bruce. All right. Well, I will call the April 21st meeting of Soquel Creek Water District to order, and we will start with roll call.
Director Balboni,
Here.
Vice President Christensen,
Here.
Director Jaffe, President LaHue.
And I am here as well. Then we will have some remote attendees tonight. One of the councils with BBK, Kyler Radin, and then everybody's set here. And then Director Lather is absent. And we're going to, for agenda adjustments, we are going to move item 6.1 to the first before consent items. And does anyone have any other adjustments or things to pull from the agenda? Consent? Okay.
Nope.
All right. So before public comment, you want to do item 6.1 or?
It's up to you. I don't know if we have any public comment here.
Good. Well, why don't I ask for any public comment to see? All right. So the public comment period is now over, and and now we'll move on to item 6.1. And who's introducing that?
So good evening. Tonight, item 6.1 is to recognize the service of Jane Wallner, who is retiring after almost 28 years with the district. And Jane has served in our customer service and billing technician position and is the voice of the district. We have a resolution for her, and I believe we have a short presentation and a special gift. Okay.
So do you want to do presentation first, or you want?
I think it would be good if anybody in the audience wanted to say anything about Jane. Okay. Okay. Well, we will also be having a little party at the office where I think a lot of us will be saying more great things about Jane. I've had the pleasure of working with her for her entire career because I've been at the district for so long, and she definitely is the face, so welcoming, so great with customers. You are the customer whisperer. You're also very friendly and helpful to all of your coworkers and staff. You really do set the culture of the customer service department, and you will be so missed so much. But I think it'd be good if maybe, Tom, you read the resolution, and then we'd love to do a
Quite the
photo.
resolution here.
It's beautiful.
All right, let's see if I can do it so you can hear. Let's see, okay. The resolution of the Board of Directors of Soquel Creek Water District in appreciation of Jane Wallner. Whereas Jane was hired by the district on October 5th, 1998, as a customer service representative, which has since been reclassed as Customer Service and Billing Technician 2, And whereas Jane is retiring from Soquel Creek Water District after serving the public and our community for nearly 28 years with professionalism, compassion, and a commitment to district standards for customer service. And whereas Jane has supported district customers through 4 distinct multi-year droughts, totaling 14 drought years during her years of service, and whereas Jane has experienced 2 full billing system implementations during her tenure and has assisted customers with implementation of automated meter reading meters, advanced metering infrastructure, online bill pay, pay by phone, pay by text, and WaterSmart enrollment. Whereas Jane has embraced new technologies and work processes with determination and resilience, even when doing so required stepping beyond her comfort zone. And whereas Jane has displayed a remarkable ability to connect with customers, consistently de-escalating even the most challenging situations with patience, compassion, and professionalism. And whereas Jane brings her own distinctive flair and Boston accent and colloquialisms to our team, and her laugh lights up the office. And whereas Jane's love for customers' dogs is the reason the district has dog treats at the counter, and Jane is unfailingly warm and welcoming, greeting colleagues, customers, and dogs alike with a sincere smile, even on the grayest of days. And whereas Jane leads with humility and grace, earning her the nickname Lady Jane, and whereas Jane will always be fondly remembered for her morning ritual of enjoying a bowl of cottage cheese, a choice, I may have to start that, a choice she enjoyed without hesitation, and one that left others wondering about the charm of those bite-sized curds. And whereas Jane always makes the most of her short breaks, often seen walking while reading her Kindle, with impressive focus and coordination. And whereas Jane has always been exceptionally punctual, dedicated, and reliable, consistently demonstrating a strong work ethic and commitment to her role at the district. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Directors of Soquel Creek Water District that Jane Wallner is hereby recognized for her 28 years of service. Please join us all in extending our sincere appreciation for Jane's dedication, professionalism, and many years of service to the district and its customers, along with our best wishes for a well-deserved retirement. So, suppose we should vote on this?
I think so.
I'll move approval of this
I'll second.
resolution.
Director Balboni? Yes. Vice President Christensen?
Yes.
Director Jaffe?
Yes.
President LaHue?
Absolutely, yes. All right. Now,
We're going to show a couple photos of Jane over the years.
Okay.
great. And then you get this beautiful resolution.
Am I doing this right? On the desktop, right? Minimize this? Minimize this? Am I sharing? No. Sorry. No. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Where's media player? Oh wait.
right. Now, there's another little item to be presented. So,
You can come right,
Gosh.
right up the front, Jane.
Never forget the water district.
We're gonna take some pictures.
Good one.
thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
Can't open any of these items on this thing.
That's so cool. That is so true. Okay. Give him a sec.
Bye, Jane.
Jane. You don't have to stay for the whole meeting. Okay. So now we have had a public comment. We have had snuck in item 6.1. And so now anybody from the public here to speak on consent items? Seeing none. Any board either comments or motions? Okay, then how about a motion?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. And even though Rochelle's not here, we should be able to still do a whole voice vote, right? Oh, got it. Okay. Okay, then all in favor?
I am.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so the consent agenda is passed, and we now have reports. So do we have a district council report?
Is he there?
Bruce?
Yes. Good evening, President LaHue and directors. AB 2180 is the current 25-26 bill proposed by Assemblymember Ward dealing with Prop 218 and water and sewer rate setting. The bill, which appears to be a response to conflicting appellate decisions, about tiered water rates would clarify that agencies may use reasonable cost allocation methods supported by data to show that rates are proportional to the cost of service, and that agencies do not need an exact parcel by parcel calculation in order to form uniform or tiered rates. So at the same time, it would not remove Prop 218's notice and hearing and majority protest protections. Supporters, including Aqua, are arguing that the bill would reduce litigation and give agencies clear guidance. And while opponents are arguing that it could weaken accountability and lead to higher charges. As of now, the bill has passed the Assembly and is pending in the Senate. So not yet law, but we will provide further updates as we know more.
Anything else?
That's it for me this evening.
Okay, thank you. Then we have our district updates, our special board assignments, right?
Yes, on this next section, we've grouped again as a reminder, just the reports that used to be in the consent agenda now are here. The special board assignment, I don't really have any comments in there. There has not been a lot of movement on the special board assignments, but they are there for your review. And then, of course, we have the regular monthly finance status report. I don't know if you have any questions on that, but I did want to at least highlight a couple new things in the admin and business services report if you didn't have anything on those two items.
Anybody have questions on any of the reports?
No, I just wanted to point out, though, part of the outreach and communication, it had a little bit about the customer assistance program that starts in May.
Yes,
31st is the open enrollment. It's $50 off of your water bill.
Yeah, so starting on page 65 is the admin and business services bi-monthly report. Again, this is our evolution of the department updates where Leslie's finance and business services department and the admin department joined together to give a little bit more detail of what's going on in those two departments, as well as some ongoing performance metrics. So you can hear, I'll just highlight a couple of these items in here. We do have just some awareness of the global water reuse map that the district participated in. The link is in the packet. This is an updated map that shows where reuse of purified water is being incorporated into communities all across the world. We also have some highlights and some information related to some of our participation that we've been doing on the legislative and regulatory front, including some comments that were made related to California's update on the zero emission vehicle mandate by CARB. So the district did meet with other fellow agencies through CSDA, the California Special Districts Association, and submitted a comment during the comment period that closed. We also, as you know, have the chromium-6 information that has been, continually provided as we're going forward with meeting that mandate. We also did just want to let you know that there is ongoing litigation on that from other partner agencies in California, not the district, but we are watching it. And then in terms of the outreach section that you mentioned related to the community assistance program, we are getting quite a bit of inquiries from some of our early outreach. The actual enrollment period begins in May, so there's more material that will be going out related to that, but we have gotten some interest in that already from the initial information that we've put out. And then, of course, in the middle of that, as I jumped back and forth, there is some additional information related to staffing. So as we celebrate Jane's retirement and all the contributions that she's done, she's obviously left a big gap. And so we are excited that we were able to hire a new staff person. She started today. Her name is Beatrice. She started Monday. and her name is Beatrice, and she is getting onboarded, so there will be a little bit of overlap with Jane. And then, of course, we have our metrics. If you have any questions on that, that's there for your review. And I think we would just end that. We also just wanted to include that last month we were able to have Jimmy Panetta come out. And so the congressman was able to tour the Moosehead project, which is complete. And our team is now moving from Aptos on Moosehead to Capitola, and the Monterey Avenue project has started.
Okay, great. Everybody good with that? Okay, so we'll move on to the second business item then, which is our consumer confidence report. Let's see.
I'll go ahead and just
You're going to introduce.
yes.
Okay.
So tonight we have for our annual review of our consumer confidence and water quality report is Kara Clark, who's our, what's your exact title, if you want to?
Hello, nice to be here with you. I'm Kara Clark, Water Quality Compliance Coordinator. It's nice to see you all again, and thanks for having me here to present the 2025 Consumer Confidence Water Quality Report. As we mentioned in the report, we did not have any violations or anything like that in 2025. We're meeting all state and federal standards, aside from the new hexavalent chromium, Chrome 6 standard, which obviously you've heard a lot about and know that we're making a lot of progress towards meeting that. This is the first time we've reported on Chrome 6 in a consumer confidence report. But aside from that, it has all of the necessary elements, talks about the sources of our water and any potential contamination, but also, list the actual data of all of the extensive monitoring that we do in our wells and the results of all of that. I don't want to, belabor the point, but definitely happy to answer any questions, or if there's anything that you saw in there that you were curious about, happy to talk about it.
Kara, do you just want to mention kind of the outreach materials that will be going out in the review process with DDW?
Yeah. Oh, I should also mention that the Consumer Confidence Report has been approved by DDW, Department of Drinking Water. And I think we said in the agenda that we anticipated it would be approved by this meeting, and it was as of last Thursday.
Congrats.
Thanks. Yeah. It's always nice to get that sign off. And let's see. Wait, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Just the outreach.
Oh, the outreach. Yeah. So now that it's approved and we've presented it to you, we will start distributing it to our customers and the public. It will be publicly available on our website, of course, and we'll send it out as a link with bills. So if people get electronic bills, there will be a link. And if they get a paper bill, there will be a link and also a note to contact me if they want a paper copy, and I can send them a paper copy. We will be putting it on our social media, of course, and I believe in a newspaper as well. Is that true? Sorry. Okay, yeah, no, not that. Sorry, my bad. Our outreach coordinator, Becca, has helped a lot with crafting this and making it look pretty, and so she's helping with the process of putting the word out there about it as well.
I think it would just highlight right there on the screen, this is the new section of our CCR. So a couple years ago, Becca did a new layout with more images, easy to read tables, and it's pretty much been a very similar template. And then this year you guys worked with DDW, and this is the new section, obviously, that we are now reporting on. It isn't new information because as part of our outreach with the Chromium 6 exceedance, our customers are already getting notified every 3 months.
I would ask for public comment. Seeing none, any board comments or questions?
Yeah, quick comment. I just thought it was so well written and great and so easy to read. So really, really nice job. Thank you. I just am curious, maybe this question isn't answerable, but just how will pure water fit in next year? How will the quality of the water change, and how will it affect this report? Like, I'm just curious. You might not have the answer.
Interesting question. As far as I know, we're not anticipating any major changes in the overall water quality in the aquifers. We'll have to see what the data shows.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that, like, Cameron, you can feel free to, if you want to go to the podium as well, just to talk a little bit. As Karen mentioned, we shouldn't see any changes in the water quality coming out of our extraction wells because we're meeting the requirements of the water going in, and then the water, obviously goes into the groundwater, becomes the groundwater, and then is tested as it goes out. But there is additional reporting that's done. So as Pure Water Soquel is now a regulated project, it also will require annual reporting. And Cameron, if you want to touch a little bit on that.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. We don't expect to see any major changes in the water quality throughout the system itself. And so, yeah, like Melanie said, there will be obviously a lot of other reporting out that we're doing for pure water, including now the tracer study as well. So we have quarterly updates that we're providing to DDW at this time since we started the added tracer study earlier this month as well. So, yeah, continuing to meet with them as well.
And that first report is due next year in 2027.
The annual report, yeah, for the GRIP reporting, yeah, it's June 30th, 2027. So we have a ways to go before that, and a year of operations under our belt before we report out and whatnot. So, yeah.
Oh, I also do want to point out, up on the screen now, we have the section with lead and copper, and we did our triennial lead and copper sampling in residences, customers' residences. So it's kind of different than our standard sampling in wells in the distribution system, where we ask folks to help actually collect a sample from their tap first thing in the morning when the water hasn't been used. And they were all, we had no samples above the action level, and they were all well within acceptable levels. So that was nice to see. I think in the last one we had one action level exceedance, which it was found to be some issue with a grounding wire or something. It wasn't actually, anything to do with the corrosivity of the water or the quality of the water or any lead in the water coming in itself. It was more of an issue local to that residence. But in this most recent one, they were all below the action level.
All right, thank you. Excuse me. That's informational only, so. Yeah, go ahead, Carla.
You could just elaborate why the water quality would change. This is our drinking water analysis. It's not the consumer confidence thing. It's not. Pure water Soquel is downstream.
Upstream, kind of.
The wells are
We'll be monitoring.
yeah. You're not collecting drinking water from monitoring.
The data that's in this report's all from the distribution system itself. So it's collected either at a raw source or at the effluent from one of the treatment plants that we have, or out in the distribution system itself. But I think to address the question again about like why the water quality wouldn't change because of Pure Water Soquel, one of the final processes that on the Pure Water Soquel AWPF is the post-treatment or the stabilization process to make sure that all the purified water that goes into the aquifer, the recharge process, it mimics really closely the native water that's in there in terms of its pH and its alkalinity. So that way you're not going to be necessarily leaching any materials out of the aquifer and then mobilizing those materials into like an extraction well. So we wouldn't expect to see a drastic change from the sources where we're collecting the data for the CCR. Right. Yep.
Thank you, Carla. All right, so we'll move on to the next item.
Thank you,
which
Bill.
is- Thank you, Kara. To consider resolution 25-4, adopting the Santa Cruz County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan update.
We're going to
So
have
Skylar?
some staff switching, and Skylar Murphy's, our assistant engineer, is going to come up. I will navigate for you. So, Skylar, you want me to introduce it, or do you want to be able to introduce kind of a little background of it first?
Yeah. So what we're bringing today is the Santa Cruz County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan, the 2025 update. What we're presenting today is that this plan is complete and is going through the state and federal approval processes. So we're presenting it to you for consideration to adopt our Soquel Creek Water District Annex Plan. Just quick overview. Last time we brought this in front of you was in August of 2025 as an informational item and getting the board approval to participate in this countywide effort to create a multi-jurisdictional plan. So you can see the timeline there. We are now towards the end of the project timeline, and since the last presentation, they've completed a thorough round of public review, and they are currently underway with state and federal review to get approval from Cal OES and FEMA. And then we are in the phase also to adopt by the Santa Cruz County and other partner agencies. Just quick refresh on purpose and benefits of this. It establishes a framework to reduce long-term hazards and risks to people, property, and critical infrastructure. And this is from natural disasters, natural hazards. It's required for eligibility under FEMA grant programs. That's a big driver to participate in this, is to have that eligibility to access those funds. And it functions as a roadmap to educate and inform for what we could use as capital improvement projects to help reduce risks to different hazards, not only for the district, but for the county and other agencies throughout the county. And also creates prioritizing the project protection of critical infrastructure and public assets by, identifying what those assets are. And the underlying goal of all this is to really support a broader community resilience throughout the county, and as one cohesive group. So moving forward, really this plan has identified mitigation measures that the district can pursue to help strengthen our resilience to these natural disasters. And I want to emphasize that these mitigation measures are not binding in any way. It's more, it's a roadmap that we can use to help increase our resiliency, but it's not binding that we have, there's no timeline to do that. And the project team, the consultant team that's helped produce this from the county, has created a platform online for collaboration between different agencies. And really what that platform looks like is it helps track what mitigation measures other agencies are working on and identify opportunities for collaboration. So you can log on there and you can see like, oh, the county's doing this project. We can might team up with them, or you can kind of see what has been done. So it just opens up opportunity for collaboration between different agencies throughout the county. And then I mentioned this earlier, but a big part of this is adoption of the plan would provide the district eligibility to apply for FEMA grant funding in the future. So the recommended action by staff tonight is to adopt resolution 26-03 to adopt the Santa Cruz County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan 2025 update.
Thank you, Skylar.
I think I would just want to add a couple things.
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank Skylar, the engineering team, Nick and his O&M team who helped participate in this effort. There were several listening sessions and working sessions with the county and the partner agencies over almost a year, right, from that first calendaring of the participation. It's been quite a process to go through this. I do see it as kind of a launch pad of continued coordination. Obviously, if you've been able to, and I recommend if you want to go in deeper to look at the report, we put the executive summary as an attachment. But if you go onto the website, as Skylar mentioned, the entire report is there. So you can see each of the partner agencies have a whole section just associated with their agency. And then even on that host site, the company that helped prepare the county's plan works with several other counties in California. You can kind of peruse and see their plan and how there's different sections related to the type of mitigation or hazard that we're trying to address, and then how that collaboration is. So it was a big lift, and I just want to say thank you to you guys.
And I guess just one kind of clarification maybe on what Melanie just mentioned about the plan and then the Soquel Creek section. So the way it's organized, like the section of Soquel Creek is the annex plan, so that the adoption is that section specific to Soquel Creek, not the whole plan. Just clarification.
I have a quick question. I was looking at all the partner agencies, and I was just wondering why the city of Santa Cruz wasn't in it.
My understanding is that they had already started their own process to do their own hazard mitigation plan, so they didn't see the benefit in then also participating in this effort.
Okay. It included all the other cities,
Yeah, I had that same question.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, was it so big that it just needed its own volume?
Yeah, I really think it was just the fact that they had already allocated resources to developing their own plans, so they didn't shift their staff time to this.
So a follow up on this it's a good first effort, and you realize that it's going to be updated and it's a living document. Are there any meetings planned between the people who I imagine formed good relationships when putting together this plan? Are there meetings planned in the year or on a yearly basis or some other basis so that you continue to coordinate what you do in terms of emergency planning?
At this point, as part of the planning effort, there's no scheduled follow-up meetings. There's, like I said, there's the portal that they've created to track. So I guess it's, the impetus is put onto the agencies to follow through on that coordination, work together to identify areas where you can collaborate on certain mitigation. Like for example, one of the recommendations for Soquel Creek is continue or close coordination with Central Fire for fire hazard mitigation. Mm-hmm. So that's an example, and that's one of our identified mitigations is work with Central Fire District more closely to for fire protection. So, but the emphasis is put back on staff of agencies to follow up and make those meetings.
So that's a disappointment to me, because once you start this effort, and I realized it was jump-started by having to do it to get money, but it would be good to continue it. So I don't know what Soquel Creek can do to reach out to people that they will be collaborating with, coordinating with during an emergency to continue those relationships. It might not have to be an in-person meeting, it might be a Zoom meeting, or it might be something else.
One of the things that we could do, and I know Skylar gave the example of Central Fire, we currently already have coordination meetings with them on a regular basis scheduled. But with other partner agencies that are identified in the plan, and especially the County of Santa Cruz, since they took kind of the lead in this effort, what we could do is, upon passing the resolution, which is a requirement, all of the agencies that participated, we actually need to submit an approval of the annex plans to go into this thing. We could put in the cover letter that that our board of directors and staff is interested in ongoing participation and want to be included in future meetings, and hope that there is, some follow-up associated with that to plant the seed. And then we can kind of go from there.
Really good to do that.
We have noticed in the past that our inclusion on emergencies, when all of the larger governmental agencies get together, they often do have a, emergency control center, and that they will go out. But in terms of, that's usually like when it's happening, not like this effort, which is more of in the planning stages and the ongoing kind of like identification, planning, and mitigation. So that could be something I think that may foster some earlier participation.
It goes a long ways to have those relationships established before the emergency, because once the emergency happens, it's very difficult.
And the communication, like who to call and who do they know to call over on our side.
And I think utilizing that section of the plan where it's specifically to us, looking through that and seeing if there's other ones besides Central Fire we could coordinate with, and start that process or keep it going anyway. Yeah, been there.
I remember the disaster, the water disaster.
Tosh, did you want to say anything?
Sorry to interrupt. I just got a notice from the back. Can we make sure all the director mics are on? Thank you.
Mine's on.
I had a quick question. I was wondering, has or will the district prioritize the specific mitigation actions?
We have not. I guess if you look at the structure there, you can. It's prioritized as far as benefit, cost, and benefit. So some mitigation measures have very high cost to a lower benefit. So it's categorized as that. But as far as going through the plan and action, creating action on the district side has not yet done on the staff level.
I'd love to see that.
Well, especially I see Cabrillo College, which is in our district. So are we are we working with them too?
They're one of the agencies, yes.
Well, they are, but they're specifically one of our customers. And the other thing is it going to be updated on a regular basis?
5 years.
Every 5
on
years.
a 5-year cycle.
Okay.
Taj, you want to add something?
I just want to say we have a lot on our plate over the next couple of years, so we're tackling regulatory required, projects. So the improvements that are listed we can consider, but probably not in the next couple of years.
Let's hope we don't have an emergency for a few years. Then.
We've been through a lot of emergencies, so I'm confident we can get through it.
Gotcha.
This is obviously FEMA benefit, and we do have relationships with Cal OES and the local hazmat teams. You know, Cameron is coordinating a drill next week. The county and Central Fire, and they're all going to be participating. So
there's more going on.
There's a lot going on
Document.
that is behind the scenes.
Okay. Any other questions or motions? Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
Okay.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. I think this is roll call because it's a resolution. I'm
And
learning.
just before we vote, I didn't hear a public comment.
Public comment,
Do we
yeah.
ask for public comment?
I did. There's no public
There's no
Okay,
public-
just making sure.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, everyone here is related to the district. So,
Okay. Director Balboni,
Yes.
Vice President Christensen,
Yes.
Director Jaffe,
Yes.
President LaHue.
yes. Thank you for your work, Skylar.
Thank you, Skylar.
Yeah, it really reads. It's well organized, I thought. Covered everything. I checked every little box.
Okay, so our next item is item 6.4 for honoring Public Service Recognition Week. I think, David?
There we go. Hey, good evening. Thank you, Board. This is an annual recognition of Public Sector Employment Week. We prepared this for you in regards to the annual celebration in honor of public employees throughout the United States. If you'd like, I can read the resolution.
I mean, I read it. Anybody want him to read it?
Are we recognizing it at the district?
This is to recognize our district employees and special district employees as a commemoration of all the public employees throughout the United States.
But are we doing anything else?
We'll be doing some promotion of it in terms of the theme and just recognition of our employees, especially those who are like on the front lines in terms of some of our O&M department and field staff, our office workers, with some social media posts. And I believe Becca is also planning on doing a press release.
And I'll say that even though this is specific to Public Service Recognition Week, May 3rd to the 9th, we've implemented at the district Thank You Thursdays. We do a regular kind of employee get-togethers for meals. So this is, while it is celebrating this week, we do activities throughout the year for employees.
I think it's also to let customers know, remind them that there's these people out there making sure their water is coming to them every day.
Right.
Right?
The district is not a for-profit agency.
So again, sorry, I didn't mention it before, but I'd asked for public comment, but there's no one here. So any district, any board questions, comments? Otherwise, I think we should probably vote on it and make a motion.
Oh, I'll make a motion. I thought we already did that.
No?
I'll second.
All right. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution.
Oh, it's a resolution too.
Okay.
Sorry.
Name?
Director Balboni,
Yes.
Vice President Christensen,
Yes.
Director Jaffe,
Yes, for sure.
and President LaHue.
Yes. So now it is time to move into closed session. And again, I would ask for public comment. Seeing none, we will go to closed session. I don't understand why I have this.
Neither, your book's still up.
Tyler, we will call you on the Teams link.